It's Monday, March 19th, 2012. It's 4:04 time on CNET TV. I'm Jeff Bacalar.
I'm Mark Lasea.
And I'm Justin Yu.
And this is the show where just because you can does not mean you should.
Yeah, it's a good rule to live by.
It's a good rule of thumb, and we'll explain why we are trying to convey that
Stay
very
tuned.
important message.
Yeah.
Mark Lasea
Stay
on the
tuned.
show. It's been so long, dude.
I know,
I'm
it's
so
been a long
glad
time.
you're freaking
Yeah.
here, man.
Thank you. I've had I guess the reason why I've been avoiding the show is I've had a bad hair half year.
Bad
So,
for Mark.
You're telling me it's your hair.
It's good for
Instead of
everyone
a bad hair day, it's been a bad hair half year.
I don't understand why you
So-
think your hair is preventing you. First of all,
I'm
it's
just
lovely
being
hair.
silly, first of all.
It's lovely hair.
But I think the reason that got me motivated to come on the show was someone sent you an email that was super flattering for me,
Yes.
comparing me to the
Commander
male
Shepard.
Commander Shepard from
Yeah.
Mass Effect.
Yeah.
Although now
What?
I'm kind of falling into FemShep territory.
No.
I'm pretty sure my hairstyle is one of the customizable female
It does.
hair choices.
You know when
so-
you scroll down and it's like, pompadour, and then it says Lasea.
Pompadour, yeah.
It says Lasea.
Lasea.
And it's just Mark.
What?
It's a photo of Mark.
Wait, I just looked up Commander Shepard having no knowledge of Mass Effect 4.
That
and
is
an African-American man just showed up.
No,
I don't
no,
know
no,
if that's
no.
what you look
That's
like.
not.
That is
whoa,
a-
that is
Is
someone.
this not Commander Shepard?
That is
is-
not the default Commander Shepard. That is
No.
a customized Commander
Oh,
Shepard.
okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
Fair
if
enough.
you check our email.
Ah, wow. You do sort of look like this guy.
Oh, is that actually modeled after something?
Let's see. Is
that
that?
Oh,
Yeah,
interesting.
I mean, not
This
gonna
is the
lie.
real model they made Commander Shepard off of.
Wow.
You do kind of
That's
look
a
like the
good look-
virtual version.
That's a good-looking man, by the way.
Yeah,
take
plus
it.
you have
I
that
don't-
neck
very
tattoo.
good
I don't
looking
see the
man.
similarity whatsoever, but I'll take
You'll
it.
take it. Commander
I'll take
Shepard's a
it.
babe, man. He's a
Yeah.
total dude magnet.
Yeah.
This is great. I love
Although,
this.
yeah, I do refer to myself as FemShep. So
As femshep.
as FemShep.
And femshep means female.
Yeah, that's actually
shepherd.
why I grew out my hair, just to look like the female version of Shepard.
So
for
you're-
when the game came out.
I guess you're playing a lot of Mass Effect 3 then.
I am. Yeah.
Have you finished it?
I didn't finish it yet, just because I started a little late.
Have
but,
you heard about what's happened? We're not going to give away the ending, obviously, because
yeah.
you don't know about the ending.
Yeah, I've heard things, and yeah.
The nerds are revolting.
I figured because the
Yeah.
second one was so amazing.
Yeah, the
I
end of the
expected
second one-
that the third one would not
Right. Would
reach that
disappoint.
level of epicness
But
because
you-
it was so amazing.
but
and
you
I played it
haven't
so many times.
But you haven't finished the third one yet, so you can't tell.
No, but I don't know. One of the things that I appreciate is how the way you play the second game. Like I saved all my characters. I had everyone's loyalty.
Yeah.
I did not save the crew, but it's cool. Like when you meet up with actually, I don't.
Don't
wanna
give anything
spoil
away, no.
Hold on,
no.
I'm,
Yeah,
to-
never
I'm
mind.
totally
It's just cool
lost.
how they
Yeah,
tie
let's-
it together.
You guys need to back up here and tell me about what the
All right, so
controversy
check it
about
out.
the ending to Mass
Well,
Effect 3 is.
We're not going to talk about the actual ending,
but
but
just say what people are complaining
what
about.
Mark is talking about is in Mass Effect 2,
Yeah.
the whole game, you're sort of like trying to keep your squad mates alive.
Okay.
All right, and if you keep them alive and you transfer your profile from 2 to 3, you keep those characters, and everything else is
and all the
is-
decisions that you made that affected the characters in that game carry over onto the third game, just like with the first game.
Right. Okay.
So you have to like keep that in mind while sort of that's
Playing the
where
third
we're
one.
right, and that's what we're talking about with like decisions and characters getting
right.
transformed over to the third one. Now the problem with the third one is that there's an ending. The third one ends with an ending that a lot of people, or it feels like, the internet's on fire about it.
Mhm.
They don't. The nerds, the nerds don't like it.
Yeah.
They're
mean-
not
And
pleased.
it's just like, guess what? You can't have your cake and eat it too. The game's awesome. Just because
Right.
you don't like the ending,
Yeah.
it's like tough crap.
And correct me if I'm wrong. I thought that games nowadays have multiple endings, right? It's not just one.
Yeah,
people just
well, I
complaining
think
about
there's
the
like the
entire
main
thing.
ending, but there's little
Side
things
story
that
ending.
happen that
Yeah.
don't affect the ending, but
Right.
And this is
different
it.
aspects
And
of
this is basically the end of the trilogy. Mass Effect 3 marks the end of
they're
the
gonna have to make
trilogy.
another one.
Right.
It's such a successful game.
It's,
There's no way that they're gonna not want to milk more money out of that.
Someone was telling me this other
Such
day.
a good game too.
It really is. And in my opinion, it's probably the best like space sci-fi sort of universe.
Right.
Oh yeah.
I think I like it better than I'm going to say Star Wars.
Oh yeah.
You know?
Do you guys
Yeah,
think
it's
that?
just very well thought out.
Do you guys think that players have a right to petition and bother a company like I was reading an article online about this earlier, and I guess 13,000 people have liked the Facebook page that's demanding
nothing.
that Bioware change the ending just because a couple nerds don't like
You know
it.
what I have to say to those 13,000? Get a effing life,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
You can't
Seriously.
you're not going to be petitioning a director because you don't like the way that Transformers ended, although maybe you would have the right to do that.
I mean, I
based on
respect
what
that they're
Michael
so
Bay did to it.
passionate, and I think Bioware should be flattered that they have such a passionate fan base.
Of course.
But
don't you dare
go
even
outside and play kickball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't you dare even entertain the idea of changing this ending.
Yeah.
Right.
Where's your artistic integrity, right?
The audacity.
Speaking of revolting against creation, the creation of art,
Oh man, this is.
I think if there's
really
one
upsetting.
thing that we really should all band together, and I'm looking at everyone in this room as well as you on the internet, we need to come together and stand tall against Michael Bay, because he is single-handedly raping our childhood.
Yeah,
I said it again. He is raping our childhood. He plans to make a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles reboot.
Not a bad idea.
Not a bad. I would take a number 4.
Yeah.
If you want, we can just cancel Turtles in Time and
You just
go
don't want
go
Michael
back right
Bay.
to 3.
Yeah.
Well, no, I
Michael
don't
Bay's
mind.
okay, too.
Michael Bay's okay, but not when he's telling me that he's gonna make these Ninja Turtles aliens.
Yeah, so I guess he announced over the weekend that this reboot, instead of actually having them mutate from turtles and the ooze into big turtles,
Right, which is
he's gonna have
fine.
them
So it's
be
just a-
visitors from outer space.
So,
So
it's
I-
a reimagining of the origin of
Right.
the Turtles,
Right.
which is completely not.
Which doesn't
what it
make sense
is.
because they're called the Teenage Mutant
Right.
Ninja
Exactly,
Turtles,
yeah.
not the Teenage Alien Ninja
Right,
Turtles.
and if you do A, it's tant, and that sounds too much like taint, and I don't want that. Okay, so get the hell. Oh God, why?
that
do-
reason more than any other. It's true.
If there's one reason, why does Hollywood give Michael Bay a blank check and just say, "Hey, you want to ruin something?"
Because
Yeah.
there's going to be explosions in the movie.
But why is this
Lots of
okay? Why,
explosions.
Hollywood's not
Right.
stupid. They know about the internet. I mean, they only know about maybe the piracy on the internet, but they know that people are going to be upset about this.
Just to play devil's advocate, maybe Michael Bay is catering to a new batch of kids that just
Of course,
didn't
yeah.
grow up with it. They're not going to have that much of attachment. They're not going to care.
At the end of
about
the day, though,
story.
that new Ninja Turtle universe, the ones where they don't have pupils, right? You've seen that?
Right, yeah, I've seen that.
They still battle Shredder, and they still
Right.
come from ooze.
Right.
You know, they
Yeah.
owe their roots to ooze.
And I think there's a way to create a movie that doesn't change the story and piss off a lot of people.
Right.
Like you can still do it and not.
Yeah, he's
change
claiming
the
that
entire
it adds
origin.
realism to it because aliens, for some
Because
reason, is
aliens
so
will
much
land on the
more
planet and
realistic.
kung fu fight.
And
Master
what about
Shredder?
Shredder's an integral part of that story, right? He like raised the turtles without getting too nerdy. You know, like he trained them in the ninja arts. But
true.
without, he's a mutation himself. I wonder if they're gonna make him into an alien as well.
Are you talking
That
about
seems-
Splinter?
Get it
I'm
right.
sorry,
Yeah,
I said
yeah,
Shredder.
Richard,
Splinter,
thank you.
yes.
I don't
As
know.
Splinter
our
the rat.
human Wikipedia of Ninja Turtle lore.
Regardless, I want to be cast in the movie.
mutant too?
In the second
the
movie,
movies.
Super
Yeah,
Shredder.
Super Shredder, for
but
a
in the
brief
origin
period of
series,
time.
he was never a mutant, right? He was
No.
just another
Is
ninja
the-
from Japan.
Is the origin is the only sort of tablets we have from the cartoon, or is there sort of a comic origin? Or is it-
I'm sure there is.
You think it all
But,
like Saban? What was it? Saban Entertainment?
Oh
right?
yeah,
yeah,
it was
yeah,
a comic
yeah.
book first.
So
that
it
they
was a
turned
comic
into
book
a cartoon.
first.
Yeah.
And that's where we need to get down to.
Yeah,
because
because I'm sure the comic book people are like, you dumbasses.
It's like you don't even know
You don't
what
even know what
happened.
it. Yeah.
They were
They
aliens.
were aliens.
there were levels
They
of
were.
fandom.
Yeah, I want to go way back. If someone knows, give us a call because we are not simply going to let this go.
Yeah.
we
Yeah,
are going
in the,
to.
in the cartoon,
Oh.
Ooh.
Splinter was a mutant, right?
Yes.
But then in the movie,
No, he was. He had
was
to
a
be.
he was a person who changed in. No, in the cartoon, he was a person who changed into.
Are
A
you?
mutant. Yeah,
a
like,
mutant.
you saw
Wait,
that in the
time
title
out.
screen.
No.
Yeah.
No, Shredder kept a rat as a pet.
Yeah, that
that
was
was
what happened in
Splinter.
the movie. He's
Right.
talking about the cartoon.
Oh, the
He was
cartoon,
a
in the
In
human
the
cartoon,
cartoon,
sorry.
he was human.
He
Yeah.
was human.
And he was even
changed,
wearing that
yeah.
robe too. The
Ah.
robe splintered up in the process of the mutation. That
Yeah.
was what kind of like
Oh.
made him
I am
all ragged.
learning so much today. So you're saying Splinter in the cartoon was in fact a human at one point?
Yes.
That's what it looked
didn't
like.
know
But
that.
in the
Richard's
movie,
right.
he was a
A baby rat.
baby rat.
Right.
Who
So they changed
Who's-
that. They were probably pissed in the 80s too.
They probably were. I think
They need to
everyone's
get their
got.
story straight.
We really got to get our stuff together.
What if they brought Kato back
Can't be
too?
helped.
It was like 20 years later, still delivering pizzas. You guys
Oh
remember that
my
from,
God,
like, the
he's
second
like
and third
he's like
movies?
56 now.
Yeah, Ernie Reyes
Yeah.
Jr.
What about our good pal Casey Jones?
Oh, that's right.
He'll come back in my Michael Bay movie as some sort of transformer.
You must have loved that guy because he was all about the hockey.
It was cool. I had an affinity
Yeah.
for him for sure. Anyway, so that is one way to ruin a movie, but perhaps maybe we're all coming around on the concept of a second Beetlejuice movie.
Yeah.
We've been talking about
Beetlejuice.
exactly. We've talked about this before, and apparently things are in motion to get a second Beetlejuice film off the ground. It'll actually supposed to be set 26 years after the original, so it will sort of stay in line with the current timeline.
Yeah.
And believe it or not, Tim Burton and Michael Keaton seem to be on board about this, and they're not about doing a reboot. This is actually supposedly a true sequel with the writer Seth Grahame-Smith
Yeah.
wielding the pen. He actually wrote Tim Burton's new film Dark Shadows.
Have you guys
which-
seen the trailer for that?
Kind of into that.
Have you?
haven't
Did you
seen it.
watch the actual old Dark Shadows? Not watch it.
Oh,
but
it's
like,
I did not know it's a remake.
Oh, it was this old sci-fi werewolf vampire drama. It was like
Okay.
it was like a soap opera.
Okay.
Yeah,
This
like
sort
took itself seriously. But
Yeah.
I remember, my grandma used to watch it. and I
So
used to sit there
from
and watch
what
it.
time
mean,
period?
It was, oh man, it's old.
Yeah.
I can't give you an accurate time frame, but yeah, if you see the trailer, it's completely different. They like totally camped it up.
Yeah.
And it is not serious at all.
Yeah, the new. I mean, there's something about it.
But you
He's-
should go on YouTube and check out the
The old
clips
one?
from the old one because it's
The
pretty
cool thing
funny.
about Dark Shadows is it feels like his first sort of effort towards a comedy since like Edward Scissorhands. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's got that vibe to it, and I'm excited about that. But a second Beetlejuice, I mean, I don't know. I think the part of the original Beetlejuice's charm was that they didn't know what they were doing was going to become this huge sort of cult classic.
Right.
And now, with I don't know, there's something about the bad special effects. There's something about, that
The makeup.
aesthetic that is going to be lost if they do, in fact, do a sequel. If they do, I don't want it to be a Charlie and the Chocolate Factory where it's all like incoherent CG and just nonsense. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? I hope that doesn't happen.
Well,
I
this-
worry about these
I guess the
things.
screenwriter was saying that it's going to be 26 years in the future, but things won't have changed for Beetlejuice himself.
Right, well,
Because time for him is very small compared to
Exactly.
the real life. So
Sure.
maybe they'll keep the same look because not much time has changed for him.
I would love to bring back the Dietzes. Catherine O'Hare and Jeff
Yeah.
Jones and Lydia.
They were pretty
and
amazing. Yeah.
They're just an amazing family.
I assume Helena Bonham Carter will be in the movie.
She'll be like
She doesn't have to worry about work ever.
ever. Well, she's also married to Tim Burton.
Well, of
so
course,
sort
that's
of
why.
Yeah, I feel like she should totally be Lydia's aunt or something. You know what I mean? Like that would just be marvelous. So there you have it. Possibly a Beetlejuice
Future
2.
Beetlejuice.
Yeah.
Man, I don't know.
A lot of weird movie news this weekend.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about all this
Well,
stuff.
I mean, is it better than not having one? Do you feel like it would ruin the original?
No, you can't
or-
ruin an original,
course,
especially
yeah.
because it's not a reboot. It's just going to be a sequel, which I think is the best news to come out of this entire story. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. All right, we gotta at some point here talk about something to do with tech, and this is what I'm interested in this morning. The FAA says it will finally reconsider revising its list of approved electronics on flights. So the situation that exists now is that you can't have
Anything with an on switch.
like
On-off
anything
switch.
with an on switch.
Yeah.
Even though phones have airplane mode,
They're
which
like,
is
no, turn it off.
they're like, I'm like, but look, the little airplane icon. I'm allowed to
But
fly
you
like
just
this.
you don't turn it off.
No, I don't.
You just
don't.
put
I
it in
just keep-
airplane.
yeah, I
You probably
do.
don't even put it in airplane mode.
don't.
You're probably like texting and on the internet until you're like 1,000 feet in the air. I bet
Really?
You.
Is
I bet,
that-
I
is-
bet you are.
I'm texting all the way until we reach cruising altitude, and then my signal just drops.
I don't think your signal would last that long.
It wouldn't.
But,
So, what about this new revision to the appropriate electronics list?
Well, okay, so it's been about 15 years since they've updated this list,
That's a while.
which is a really long time.
A few things have come out in 15 years.
Couple of devices have come out, yeah. So I guess now they're finally deciding that, hey, maybe we should take a look at this list. And I guess the problem, though, was that the rules, in order for them to be changed, they have to test every single device to make sure that they don't interfere with navigation equipment.
I'm pretty
the
sure
testing
it
is
can't just
pretty
be
crazy, too.
Yeah, it can't just be one iPhone. They would literally have to test every version of the iPhone that they would approve to be on this list. So that's why it's a huge heap of stuff, but now they're finally realizing it's worth it. Plus, I was thinking about this, like, if they're going to offer Wi-Fi connections on planes, That seems kind of like a disconnect there, right? Like they
Yeah.
tell
Well-
you not to turn on your device, yet they still offer Wi-Fi.
Well, I think they don't start that until you're
until you're
Yeah,
well into
that's
the air.
already
definitely
in
the
air. I
case.
think it's just the taking off and the
Sounds like
landing,
mixed
maybe?
messaging to me.
Yeah, the Wi-Fi is attached to a certain sort of height measure.
Yeah.
You know, what do they call that thing? The thing that measures your height?
The altitude.
Yeah, altitude monitor.
Altitometer, I think it-
Altitometer. It's an altitometer. Okay.
But the
It makes me
problem is,
hungry.
I don't think you can use Wi-Fi in airplane mode, can you?
No. No,
So
no,
that's
no.
a problem because you
Right.
can't use your phone, even if you have Wi-Fi on the plane.
Look at Richard coming up with a
Makes a good
huge
point.
paradox
Yeah.
on the plane. You're right. And I thought the Mythbusters actually, applied this. They said they had all these devices and apparently it's not. Nothing interferes with flying.
Yeah. Does that have to do with the volume of devices that are on during takeoff? Like if one person
Even if it is
has
that-
a phone on,
well,
then
they
it won't matter. But if 15 people do, then yeah, it'll probably
15,
crash a
there's
plane.
like 300 people
No, I'm
on a
saying, but
plane.
is there a minimum amount of devices? It
No,
would take?
I don't think it has anything to do with it. Because
No?
think about it. If it really did, right, and if they were really absolutely positively convinced that wireless connectivity can interfere with air travel,
You check them at the door.
yeah, they wouldn't even let you on the plane with them.
Yeah.
You get frisked.
Right, exactly. They'd be like, get it out of here.
Well,
So-
I think what is kind of a big deal about the testing with this is that they're going to have to, they're going to test it on empty flights. So all these airplanes are going to be flying around the air
With just
with
an
nothing
iPhone
but
in the seat.
with an iPod of every model.
Yeah. It's like, oh, what
Different
flight
i-
is that? Oh, that's the iPad
Exactly.
flight. Okay. No,
The first Nook, the first Kindle.
yeah.
Yeah.
A Kindle should not be needed to turn off. Number one,
Well-
it can't turn off.
Well, those are the things that they're trying to allow people
This
to
takes
keep
15
on are the
years.
e-readers and the tablets.
Do you know what was around 15 years ago? Nothing. There was nothing. A Discman. That was the biggest threat to air travel.
Yeah.
I don't
I
get
mean,
it.
is it that big of a deal though if you do have to turn your electronics
Me personally,
on?
do I care? No.
But you don't do it.
But I was trying to
But you don't
finish.
do it.
But when I was coming back from Dominican Republic, we were at like 10 minutes left in Horrible Bosses, and she made me turn off the iPad. And I said, "Look, it's definitely going to end soon. Look, there's only." She didn't care.
You're one of those
You're that
whiners
jerk,
too.
yeah.
That makes the poor stewardess like go back and get drunk in the back of the plane. and then,
Drunk?
like,
What do you mean? What are you talking
who am
about?
I talking about? Who's that guy? The JetBlue.
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
the
right, right,
attendant.
Yeah. You create those people, Jim.
No, come
No,
on.
it's
Alec
funny
Baldwin.
because me and Richard on the way to South by, we had one of those people behind us, and the flight attendants have it rough, man.
They do.
'Cause
They
they're
do
like,
not have it
"Excuse
easy.
me, sir, calm down." And the guy was being a jerk.
Oh, I'm not a jerk to them.
Oh no, I'm not. I'm just teasing
Yeah,
you.
no, I know.
You are a very, very wonderful person, and
Oh,
I
thanks.
am in love with you.
He's teasing you right now.
It all comes out right now.
Trolling a troller.
Oh man, that's pretty good. Speaking of iPads on planes, and the new iPad apparently is causing quite the confusion against the layperson.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, Gizmodo's finding out, along with another site here,
The next web.
the Next Web, that the average consumer cannot tell the difference between an iPad 2 and the new iPad.
They're like,
So
it feels
funny.
lighter than the iPad
Is that,
2.
is that what they
It feels
said?
lighter.
Yeah, some
No,
people
it's so
actually
sleek.
think that. This
Yeah,
is crazy.
yeah, I
I mean,
wanna
it's
hear
totally anecdotal, but there's a video that both the nextweb.com and Gizmodo put up where they just brought two iPads out, did like a Pepsi challenge kind of thing, didn't tell them which one was which, and they had them guess which was the new one, which one was the old one. Some people actually said the new one was heavier, and
Which
they
is
liked
true,
the
a little heavier.
Yeah.
They said they liked the screen of the second one better than the third.
The
That
video
doesn't-
looks
They
so
couldn't
much
tell the
better on
retina
this one.
difference.
You know,
Yeah.
it's funny because
Wait, what do you mean the video looks better?
Well, no, I'm just imitating
Oh,
people that are like,
oh,
oh,
okay.
the video looks so much better on the new one
Sure.
because it's new.
Sure.
But we were standing in line iPad launch day on Friday,
Right.
and we were interviewing people, and that's what everyone was saying. They're like, I'm very excited about this new screen.
Yeah.
Video's gonna look
Right.
amazing.
Sure.
In my head, I'm like, you wouldn't be able to tell the difference. If
Yeah.
you looked at one and then like gave yourself an hour and then looked at the other one. I mean, you probably would.
I think with
you
text-
probably would.
It depends on what you're looking at,
yeah,
too.
Yeah.
But I don't think it makes a world of difference.
I think
I mean,
that-
if you tell some, sorry, I keep interrupting.
That's okay.
I'm sorry. Go on.
I was gonna say I think the text, where that where that works, where it looks just as good as print. I think there's a difference there.
Sure.
I haven't seen a new iPad yet. Do we have one in the office?
Yeah, we
Can
do.
I have it?
Can I have it?
I want to check it out
There you go, sir.
because I really want to check that out. I also want
Right.
to check out how crisp a comic book would look on it.
Mhm.
You think it would
Yeah.
look crisper?
I think so.
I don't know.
I think it
If
would look
anyone,
crisp. I
if
think it
anyone
would
has a
look
new
very crispy.
iPad out there and is reading comic books and
Send
can
it to
tell,
Jeff.
Yeah.
no, I don't want you to
Send
send
it to
your
Jeff
iPad.
so he can look at the comic books and never return it.
Just I'm curious because that would literally be the only reason why I would
Right.
upgrade.
Well, you could tell a big difference between iPhone 3Gs and iPhone 4s when they added that Retina display.
Right.
Right. Like I think I probably would be able to tell. We should test this ourselves.
I really want to be able
This
to
is like
test.
an Emperor's New Clothes type deal.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, such crazy improvements.
I want to do that. You know, you shuffle them behind your back and go, okay,
Yeah.
which one's the new one? And you're like, I don't know.
And then if it's wrong, you just smash it in their face.
Yeah, you just break it right in
Yeah.
their face. That's interesting. I think it's very funny that the common person cannot.
Yeah, I think
tell
it's a
the difference.
testament to their marketing too.
Well, in what regard?
In the way that I think they've fooled so many people into thinking that the
Yeah, because it's
new
new, it's
screen is
better.
revolutionary. Yeah, but they don't actually need it. If this is by the
It is a
second
little
version.
concerning that the average consumer cannot. I mean, this is a totally unscientific demonstration here.
Mhm.
Well, also, I feel like if someone's going to get a camera out and be like, what do you think of this? You're going to feel pressured to be like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, but if
that's
anything-
like, you're not going to be like, oh.
Well, if
I don't
anything,
know."
that gives you like that first knee-jerk reaction where you're like, okay, you know, I
Yeah,
have,
that's true.
you know,
I see both
it's a
sides.
much more maybe possibly organic impression rather than having time to choose between.
But-
I think it also says I think it's also like a good thing. It's also like wow, these things are so cool to begin
Yeah.
with that people just can't.
Or you
know.
could say that do they need to release them every year? You know, like just the fact that the second is so much the same as the third.
I mean, but you know,
They should have had the camera application up. That
That would
probably
tell- you'd be able to
definitely would
tell
be
the
able to
difference.
Yeah, but then you go to the Apple store at 6 in the morning and the people are lined around the block and you're like, yes, they do.
Yeah.
Because people will buy them.
they will. I'm curious to hear from our listeners and viewers who has upgraded. Whether you came from nothing, iPad 1 or iPad 2. I'd like to know that. And I'm over the name, too. I think it's okay now.
Oh, you like it now?
I don't like it. I just understand that they're doing the same thing like the MacBooks do.
Yeah.
You know,
got
and
so
the iMac.
mad on that first day.
I was mad because that and the iPhone are the only two products that have a sort of ever-evolving nomenclature.
Right.
You know what I
right.
mean?
Yeah.
Either way, I'm okay with it. I want to talk about this unbelievable spring break stat.
Yeah.
Okay, Justin, I want you to tell me all about this because I know
This is
you
really
you
funny.
spent many a spring break in Daytona Beach
Plenty.
with your shirt off.
Oh, the Jersey Shore is always where I'm at around this time of year. There was an article in the New York Times today that I thought was really, really interesting. They're basically saying that today's spring breakers, they've become a little bit more tame, and this is according to people that work at the spring break locations, like in Key West, for example. They're saying that it's a lot more tame now that people have a fear of betrayal from videos popping up on Facebook and photos popping up on Flickr. Now that there's so many devices around that can take pictures and record what happened.
And tag the crap out of you.
Exactly. And I think it also has to do with employers checking Facebook profiles
Mm-hmm.
and looking at your online presence.
It's
And
a big
also,
deal.
yeah, I wonder if it has something. I mean, I'm sure it has something to do with the fact that MTV does not embrace the spring break culture like they once did, or do they?
question. Wait a
Maybe,
minute.
maybe I'm just out of touch and I don't.
I think you're out of touch
Am I?
because
Do they
I'm
still
pretty
do
sure
like
they,
the spring break runway
I'm-
models?
I'm
walking back
pretty
and
sure
forth?
they
I think
still
so,
do that.
yeah, I think they
man,
still do
I'm
it.
an old
now
man.
everyone just wears masks though. It's really weird. Could you imagine an entire spring break where everyone's wearing like the anonymous masks and stuff
Oh
like that?
my
Yeah.
God.
'Cause they don't
But the
wanna be
whole like
tagged?
Girls Gone Wild thing, that's
gone.
done.
Yeah,
They've
right?
gone.
Remember
They've
that
gone
was
wild.
like a phenomenon for a while.
Crazy,
and
right?
now,
Can't do it
yeah,
anymore.
People that
really.
aspired to achieve that,
Yeah.
they're out of luck.
Same thing with Mardi Gras. I'm sure there's a lot less boob showage from beads and whatnot because people
True,
are worried
yeah.
about that quick flash.
I never.
Plus, you can open up
thought
a
of that.
phone in like 3 seconds and take a picture now,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
especially with this swipe to camera feature. on
Yeah.
all these phones now.
So thanks, Apple.
You're quite
Thanks,
welcome.
Tim.
It's amazing. The very thing that has brought all these people
Very
together
ironic.
is now the cause of their undoing.
Yeah.
This is amazing.
crazy?
It's a happy day.
All came back.
Yeah, this is really cool. This is sort of like an op-ed piece out of the New York Times, and I guess it sort of makes sense. I mean, you would, I guess,
Totally makes sense.
I guess the positive takeaway is that people are actually becoming
Wise.
aware and
Right.
perhaps responsible for their actions.
Mhm.
You know,
Thinking about the consequences.
yeah, like oh man, if I actually
If
do
I get
this,
naked,
I'm
people
not
are
gonna get a
going
job.
to look at me and take pictures,
and tag me, and I won't ever get a job.
and I'll be on Reddit.
Yeah, I'll be on Reddit in
Forever.
45 seconds. It's actually confusing. Atari, everyone knows Atari. They're offering $100,000 in a contest for somebody to come up with a new version of Pong for iOS platform. Okay. Wouldn't it only cost them like $2,500
To
to
make
make a version of Pong?
And would they make any money off offering this online? I'm
I
sure
mean,
there's already games that exist in the iTunes store.
If you made it online multiplayer and you charged $1, if you charged 99 cents,
Yeah. That's a
I
good
think that's a
point.
good.
Yeah,
I
that's
think
a
that's a
good
good.
idea.
No, but I just
deal.
can't see anyone being like, well, I can either play draw something with all of my friends or play Pong for half an hour.
Yeah,
like,
It's such a
and then
simple
pay
game
for
that
it,
anyone
too.
can do.
Yeah.
yeah. I
So-
don't know. Anyway, the top prizes are cash, and then a revenue sharing agreement.
That's kinda
So
cool.
if you do win, you have the opportunity to possibly make more money
Mhm.
based on revenue sharing, which is pretty interesting.
Do you remember the last Pong reboot? Or maybe it wasn't the last one, but it was the one with the penguins.
No,
It
I
came out?
don't. It was
Really?
Atari's. It was
yeah,
Atari
it was
branded?
Atari, and I think it was on the PlayStation. And
Huh.
I remember me and my sister got it.
It's like a
and played that.
downloadable game.
No, no, no.
was
It
actually
was
a
an actual
disc.
game.
Wow.
I think
Huh.
I think it was just called Pong.
That's
And there were
really-
penguins in it.
Huh.
Yeah.
What was
Didn't
that
realize
one
that.
Pong-ish game, except instead of you battling player to player, it was like a single player thing, and there was like one paddle that would go across the bottom, and you could hit
Oh, that's not
like
Pong.
it's like brick
That's
something.
Arknoid.
Is that Ark? Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
Yeah.
from the 90s. Right? I used to
Or like
love that
or
game.
like Alleyway on Game
right.
Boy.
And then they would have different like power ups or
Yeah,
whatever. that
or
would give you
Brick
three
Breaker.
yeah, exactly. I used to
exactly.
love
Yeah,
playing
yeah,
that game.
For sure. That doesn't get old. Man, oh man, this weekend I totally became addicted to Scramble with Friends.
Scramble with friends. What is that?
It's like
It's
Scrabble.
basically
but
no,
words
not
with
words.
friends.
No, it's not Words with
Oh.
Friends, but it's another Zynga game. It's like Boggle. You know what I'm talking
Oh,
about?
that's
So you get that like 5x5 grid or 4x4 grid, and you
I'm
gotta
like,
like
go make words.
and make words. You gotta drag your
Oh.
finger all around.
Yeah.
And everyone's playing it. It's all the
Right.
rage these days, or this week.
I'm gonna have to get on.
And you got to do it, man. We got to play.
Yeah.
I
Has
was-
your vocabulary increased? as a
No,
result of
that's
playing?
what the one thing I'm finding out is that it's not improving my vocabulary at all.
Right.
It's actually teaching me words that I didn't
Small
even know
words,
existed, and they're
yeah.
all small.
Yeah, it's like
you
all
know,
8.
like the best word you can do is like threads.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Yeah, I'm one of those people when I play those games. I'm like tan. What is tan? What is tan?
Tan.
And I'm like,
T-A-N?
oh, tan. Yeah.
Oh, tan.
I
Like
forget
I'm
the meaning
tan.
of the words. Yeah, but you know, I have mental problems.
That's a
so-
pretty simple word to forget the
I know.
meaning
well,
of.
I'm just making an example out of something.
Yeah.
But
You figure that.
it happens to me. It's happened to me many a time.
I'm playing that. And I'm also playing Draw Something.
Draw something I've kind of gotten addicted to myself.
I don't know though. Like, are you good? Are you good?
No, I'm terrible.
Yeah.
I'm also tempted to buy a stylus and cheat.
No,
Like-
that's not cheating.
It's not cheating if you use a stylus?
No, cheating is when you write out the word.
Right, okay.
That's cheating.
Do you play Draw Something, Mark?
I do not.
Do you know about it?
I do.
Yeah. What about Richard? You
Yeah, I
ever
started
play-
playing
You
it.
started playing. We
Yeah.
all got to play. We got to
Yeah.
get on some sort of four-way thing here.
pretty
Does it
fun.
work like that?
Yeah, I mean, I think we
they
would
can
draw
only
some
do
really dirty
one-on-one,
stuff.
right?
Yeah, it's only one
Probably
on one.
be
I made
pretty
that up.
perverted game.
Yeah, it's
be
but,
perverted.
but I like that you can choose which word you want to draw.
Right,
It's
right.
not just you're given a thing and that's it.
It's not
You
like
have-
charades or anything.
Exactly. You have a choice: easy, medium, or hard.
I would assume that I don't know. For some reason, I would assume that both of you would be good artists. I don't know if that's because you are into comic books like I am, but when I'm a big comic book person, and I've been drawing since.
Let me be the first to tell you that.
I'm terrible.
You're not.
too.
You're not.
I
a good
am
artist.
not.
Oh, that's a bummer.
I thought I would be when I was young. I was like, oh, I'll just get better when I'm older.
Yeah.
You
Then
know,
things
you'll-
stayed the same when you became an adult.
And
Yeah, exactly.
If anything, it got worse.
Oh,
Because
man.
oh man, I can't draw
You
for
can't do it,
crap.
Yeah.
I still do like the muscles that look like clouds. You know, like vertical
Oh,
clouds,
yeah,
like
yeah,
just
yeah.
like hills. I do that. Kind
I
of
actually
thing.
I took a cartoon drawing class when I was little because I was a pretty good drawer, and
Yeah.
they started doing like where you shade you draw the head out and then you draw the torso,
Uh-huh.
and I was like, this is too much work. I just want to draw it as one big mass, and so I left. I didn't last one class.
I'm all about the birds in the sky, little M's.
Yes.
You know,
yeah,
M.
the
Yeah,
the house with the curly Q
Yeah,
smoke and
it's
the
like
Q.
that
Yep.
chimney's always spitting out curly smoke. I don't know
Yeah.
why, but it is. It's only and you only live in a one floor house.
I like to do my
Cross-hatched bricks.
signature and then at the end turn it into a house with the smoke. That's what I do. That's my signature on my checks.
Creative.
That's pretty good. I want to change gears real quick. Okay.
Okay.
I want to talk about this for a little bit. Here is a very interesting article from All Things D, talking about how Twitter and Facebook are the new news platforms. Now, this is not news to anybody. Twitter and Facebook have become our go-to news source. I feel like whenever I watch CNN, it's just reporting to me what I knew 20 minutes ago when I found out on Twitter.
Yeah.
Even like ESPN and all these sports things, all they do is report tweets from athletes and stuff. It's kind of crazy. So what this op-ed is talking about is how they are becoming tomorrow's news service. But do you guys think that it's okay to rely on things like Twitter and Facebook for the news? What do you think? Do you think it's okay to do something like that?
I feel like half the time it's, well, I mean, I guess it's based off of, well, you're saying Facebook and Twitter. So I guess most of the Facebook news, I guess, is either tied to Twitter or based off tweets.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's interesting.
I mean, even CNET, I guess, like we all go off of it in some way.
For sure.
But that's a good question, man.
I don't know.
I don't know. What do you think?
I can't tell if it's a good or bad thing. I think because if you look at trending topics on Twitter,
I know it's both, but I can't readily come up with the reasons right now.
well, I'm just saying, if you look at the trending topics on Twitter, it's very disturbing. Trending topics on
course.
Twitter are stupid.
Yeah.
And it just really shows you how pervasive and accessible Twitter has become because they've let all the morons on it.
Yeah, and if you haven't hid 90% of the people on your Facebook wall, then that's the same case with what's in your Facebook.
For
feed,
sure.
too. Yeah.
That's the thing. You are curating your news when you do
Exactly.
that. You
Yeah,
are
that's true, yeah.
responsible for where you're getting your news from.
And you're like, I'm not into sports. I'm gonna make sure that Jeff's Facebook updates don't get pushed
Exactly.
onto- well, but you're into video games, so then I'm like, well, I guess I'll keep them.
Well, you know what? It's good and bad here. Interesting, in this article, it says just 9% of American adults frequently get their news from their pals at the two services. And those who do end up getting it from much more frequently than Facebook than on Twitter. So that's saying they're getting their news more on Facebook than Twitter. That's according to this new survey from the Pew Research Center and its Project for Excellence in Journalism.
Yeah.
I'm surprised by that. I would think people get their news more out of Twitter than they do Facebook, but this article is saying otherwise.
Well, I guess because Facebook can push all that stuff onto.
For sure.
I mean, can push all the tweets onto there. Then, it's just I guess skipping a step in some ways.
Yeah.
Unless
Justin, are you okay with getting your news out of Facebook and Twitter? I mean, how do you feel about that?
No, because
No?
I don't subscribe to. I'm afraid that any article that I read on Facebook will automatically get published to my news feed, so I keep all of that stuff off of Facebook. I mostly get my news from news aggregators online.
Mm-hmm.
I
But
can't
isn't
remember-
Twitter an aggregator? Like, if you follow CNN and
I
you
guess so.
follow World Breaking News and you follow all these other handles,
Right.
that's an aggregator.
It's pretty much the same. I just don't like the Twitter layout, I guess.
Okay.
and I
You don't
wanna
like
have to-
140 characters.
Right, I
Yeah.
don't like the 140 characters.
And I feel like, sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
If you're one of those people that bothers you, you would already be the type like me, and I'm sure you guys, that has all these separate folders, like a Twitter folder
Yeah,
in your Google Reader.
I don't have that.
Oh, you don't have that.
No, I
Mine's
don't do
like
that. You're a
OCD.
big Google Reader guy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Same.
you're hard.
But it's one of those things like I read the same type of news, and I have to force myself to bring outside,
Sources.
sources into the folders that I'm so used to reading, because otherwise I won't go see. I won't seek them out.
Right.
It's like people that watch Fox are, mostly conservative people watch. It's the same thing. Like you're not gonna watch Fox if you're
Right.
liberal.
It's that curation
Yeah.
sort of preference again. But you go on Twitter a lot, though, don't you?
I do.
read-
You know what?
I
Like-
feel like you read Twitter more than you tweet.
Right, yeah, I do. And I use Twitter just for like a link blasting type thing.
Yeah.
Either. I don't really do social commentary. But I feel like there's just too many sources that I get my news from right
Yeah.
now. And that's like, for me, a huge problem. Like it's always on Google Reader,
Yeah.
or I have aggregators up, or I have like bookmarks in my bookmarks folder that I'm always clicking
Sure.
through. I'm really disorganized.
You want to
with
hear
my
something
news.
funny though? Is I feel like 70% of the time I read articles, in my head I'm always like, I think Justin would appreciate this. I don't know why.
What blogs are you reading though?
No,
Maybe
just
don't
like
say them on the
just
air.
quirky stuff.
Yeah, yeah. It's
that,
always like off.
I don't know. Every time I read it, I'm like, maybe I'll send this to Justin, but you're never. I don't. Well,
But he's never around.
Send that to me,
Yeah,
man.
I should
Send
just
it to
send it
him.
to
My
you.
walls open
Spread the
to you.
love.
Yeah.
I feel burned because you didn't listen to my music collection. I sent
Oh, that's right.
you. I sent him a.
Mark sent me a Tori Amos.
Yeah, when I got my tonsils removed, I was feeling pretty good, so I sent him this long email about which songs to listen to in which order, which I never do, because you know me,
Yeah, you're terrible
I'm
at keeping
terrible
in touch.
with communication.
Yeah.
But I went out on a limb,
I'm so sorry.
and I feel burned.
I want you to get on Twitter. You're secretly on Twitter?
I had an account way back when,
Yeah,
but
I would-
I'm not going on.
I think we should get our listeners behind that and get you involved on Twitter
you
a
on
little
Twitter.
more.
I would just be stupid,
No, it wouldn't, man.
perverted.
I'm
no.
gonna read it. I'm gonna read it. It would be perverted,
follow that.
but that's part of the fun.
I'd follow that.
Dude,
for
when
now.
you read like trending topics, aren't you ever blown away at like the crap that winds up getting up there?
Yeah, I'm always pretty surprised. Although I hardly ever look at the trending topics things.
Yeah.
Like, what kind of stuff have you seen?
I don't know. Every other day, it's some fake celebrity death, something like this and that. God is great and stuff like that. I just don't understand. I thought like there was a wisdom of crowds,
Yeah.
and it's just like, oh no, this celebrity that's not really dead. I don't. It blows my
Yeah.
mind. Speaking of the 24-hour news cycle, I was watching the HBO movie Game Change. Have you heard about this? It's basically telling the story of John McCain's his campaign's
Oh yeah.
decision to choose Sarah Palin as vice president.
You watched this?
I did.
Oh,
It was pretty
interested
good.
in seeing it,
It's
yeah.
pretty good. I don't know how accurate it is. I hope it's not as accurate as it sort of portrays. But man, oh man, was that a crazy story. And they talked all about the Twitter and the YouTubes and the Facebooks and stuff like that, and how that really does dictate where the momentum shifts in any sort of political race.
Right.
Really
Oh
is
man, it's
mind-blowing.
crazy. I remember when she was first announced,
Yeah.
and I went on Facebook and Twitter, and everyone was like, "She's gonna win,"
Yeah.
and
Was it
I was like,
that?
"No one even knows who she is." I
Yeah.
remember at that time, for some reason, it stood out to me, and everyone was like, everyone was just freaking out
But they-
because she made that like lipstick pitbull comment.
Right.
Everyone was like, "She's gonna win,"
which
damn
the
it."
which the
everyone
film
was freaking out.
which
Yeah.
the film claims was ad-libbed. So there's like interesting stories about that. But the craziest thing was like how McCain's top advisor was trying to explain to him how it doesn't matter what happened 3 days ago because the news cycle refreshes so
Yeah.
quick
Right.
that it's only about what just happened, what's about to happen, and that's it. And things move so quickly.
If you screw up, make more news fast.
It's like being a playoff team in a sport, and if you're hot, you're gonna win. You know,
Yeah.
and that's really how it works. It's very, very strange and bizarre. I want to get out of here. We got to end a little early. Other shows are coming in. We got an email from Dustin. Maybe Mark can help with this because I don't know. Hey, I know you guys are busy. Any tips on getting the 404 to play on a PlayStation 3 or the PlayStation 3's browser? Is there a way to get videos to auto-download to your PS3 so you can watch them when you want? I don't know, dude.
I don't know. That's a good question.
Is there an
I'll have
app
to
for that?
Ask some people.
Is there
but-
some sort of, I don't know. If you have any idea, I've never even tried it. Maybe if I have time, I'll give it a whirl. But let us know because I would really, really be interested. We got to get out of here, ladies and gentlemen. Mark Lasea. Thanks, dude. It's a
Thank
great show with you, man.
dude.
You'll be
Thank
back
you.
soon.
Yes.
Gotta come
Yeah.
back more often. It's been,
Yeah.
I think, way too long.
I think it's been like
half
6
a year.
months.
Yeah.
It's been 6 months. I told
Yeah,
you.
that's
my,
not cool.
My bad hair, half year.
No, it looks fantastic.
Oh, yeah,
You look fantastic. Richard looks fantastic. Thank you for being here again,
He
sir.
looks hot.
I'm not gonna lie, he does.
I love that duck face.
You like the duck
You
face.
did the duck face.
We will see you guys tomorrow. This week we have a bunch of guests. On Friday we have Russ Frushtick. On Wednesday, Katie Linendahl.
Ooh.
Oh.
Ooh. Oh, she's the new host of a Spike show.
Oh.
That will be premiering Thursday at midnight. So
She
we're gonna
used
have
to
her
be a
on.
contributor on the early show.
No.
For the CBS.
Didn't
Fun
know
company.
that. Didn't know it, but we'll find out more with her on Wednesday. It's going to be a lot of fun. So stay tuned, and we'll be back tomorrow. Give us a call, 866-404-CNET, or you can email us, the404@cnet.com. Until then, we'll see you. I'm Jeff Bakalar.
I'm Mark Lasea.
And I'm Justin Yu.
It's the 404, high-tech, lowbrow. Thanks for tuning in today, guys. Have a good Monday. See you tomorrow.